On a chilly night outside, we welcome you to the Sanford Pentagon for the final match of the season in Division II. MSU Denver looks to become the second straight 4 seed to win the title, while Concordia St. Paul looks to add yet another trophy to their trophy collection. The historic run for the Roadrunners started Thursday, a gutsy win against Wingate, semi-final upset win against Tampa. Meanwhile, the Golden Bears picked up a pair of 4-set wins to reach yet another championship match. Thrilled to be with you, along with Kelly Burke, Adam Young on hand. There's only been one upset this week. It was a big one for MSU Denver last night. Now they're going to try to knock off Concordia St. Paul, a program that doesn't lose often, Kelly, on the national stage.
Concordia St. Paul synonymous with national championships, 9 of them to be exact, and this senior class wants in on that legacy. MSU Denver in uncharted territory, fresh off the biggest upset of the Division II postseason, and now going to bring that aggressive style and fearlessness that's gotten them to this point into tonight's title game, hoping to bring home the school's first ever volleyball championship.
The AVCA National Player of the Year plays for Concordia St. Paul. McKenna Nold has had a spectacular sophomore year.
Nold powers the Golden Bears, a double-double queen. She's an elite out-of-system attacker. Picks apart opposing blocks with her precision and her deep range. For the Golden Bears to win the national title, Nold has to be scoring early and often on her cross-court shot. For MSU Denver, outside hitter Megan Hagar is the unsung hero of this postseason. Pressed into the starting outside hitter role in the quarterfinals due to injury. All Hagar's done is produce in a big way. A fast arm and takes aggressive rips. Watch for her to swing high hands on this CSP blocked all night.
The injury for the Roadrunners that has put Hagar into more action this week was suffered in the quarterfinals late in set 1 Thursday. Annika Helf, not just one of the best players for the Roadrunners, Kelly, one of the best players around the country. First team Division II All-American, out with a knee injury.
And look at the production that she's had all season. Over 3.5 kills per set, so that is a massive loss for this Roadrunner squad. But Hagar has stepped up in the most massive way on that left pin.
For MSU Denver, 4 players between 7 and 12 kills in the semifinals. 5 players with 9+ kills in the quarterfinals. So a lot of players really stepping up in the absence of first-team All-American Annika Helf. Glad you're with us. First matchup between these two programs since mid-September of last year. MSU Denver won a thriller in 5 sets. Roadrunners looking for their first national title. Concordia St. Paul trying to make it 10 national championships in program history. MSU Denver in the white, Concordia St. Paul in the navy. Golden Bears will start on serve as the serve goes to the aforementioned Megan Hagar. Swing out of the middle for Krissa Mormon. 3-balled over Concordia St. Paul. Outside of Hagar, a low swing. What a start for the Golden Bears.
Unbelievable defense being played, tracking that ball down, and that's the type of feistiness that it's going to take in this title match. Both of these teams play phenomenal floor defense.
Service pressure really important for both programs here tonight. We'll see who applies it better. Tight set to Hagar near side. Dug out by Cassie Sealing, the libero. Back set, not a great one from Waterman. Pushed across by McKenna Nold. Karina Worley with the attack for MSU Denver. Overhand handled by Emerson Dillon. Hagar goes off the top of the block. She gets a touch.
Hagar's ability to go off high hands was one of the biggest concerns for Concordia St. Paul's coach Brady Starkey. That's an adjustment that left side or that right side block is going to have to make sure they're pressing low and fast over the net.
22nd kill this week for Hagar, only averaging 1.2 kills per set for the year. Cross court for McKenna Nold, and that was inches long. Attack error for the player of the year.
But McKenna Nold loves to hit that sharp cross shot, so look for CSP to go back to that a lot.
Two of the most efficient attacking teams around the country. Concordia St. Paul, 3rd in the country in hitting percentage. MSU Denver right behind their 4th. That's a 3-ball kill for the setter, Gabrielle Brewer. She'll take it.
You have to take advantage in a title match like this of some of those free ball opportunities, those scramble plays. Can you kill balls?
Tampa 3-0-2 for the year. They lost in the semis against this Roadrunners squad last night. Good control dig by the setter Brewer. A lot of swings early for Hagar. Set to the middle for Kelsey Cooper, who buries it for Concordia St. Paul.
Really important that the Golden Bears activate their middles and Kelsey Cooper early in this match. That'll open things up on the pins for McKenna Nold and for Ellie Sealing.
Cooper, a transfer from Division I Youngstown State. 31 wins for both programs this year. Hagar down the near line, and she buries it for the Roadrunners.
Roadrunners do such a nice job of running a tempo offense. When the first contact is good, that tempo to the pin is beating the Golden Bears block.
Already 5 swings for Hagar. Team high 12 kills in the semifinals. Backside for Nold, and she goes off the block and down.
Nold has such deep range, so she can spray the ball basically into every zone, constantly keeps this opposing block guessing.
4.3 kills per set for Nold, only a sophomore out of Jamestown in North Dakota.
And what's scary is she didn't even start hitting until her sophomore year in high school. She was a setter.
Stunning. Skylar Michael from the right antenna. Side out for the Roadrunners. There are so many cool stories, and you get to learn those stories as the week goes on. Everybody here has a story, and especially on the big stage. Shanked away by Robecki, free-balled by Robecki to Skylar Michael. Right back to her, gonna push it off the block. Just coming in, Brooke Yennerman attacks. Here's Ellie Sealing, roll shot in for one of the Sealing twins for the Golden Bears.
Sealing is so crafty. She's really a libero at heart. And Coach Starkey says she's like a libero in the L2 spot, but she has that ability to go to those off-speed roll looks and find the donut in the floor.
Ellie plays on the outside. Her twin sister, Cassie, is the libero for the Golden Bears. That's an ace for McKenna Nold, who is high ace, high air. Her 54th ace this year. She also has a team high 96 service airs this year. We talked to Brady Starkey, the head coach, earlier today. He said it is a long leash. They kind of just let her roll on the service line.
He said she has no leash on the service line, and that's because she's so valuable in every rotation on the floor.
We've seen that a couple times this week. Service ace followed up by a service air. She's able to get teams out of system so often when she keeps it in play.
When that serve is on, she's hitting it with a lot of pace, too.
Alyssa Boyd, a great serve for MSU Denver. Nold out of the back row, sends it in the net. The 6'3" Krista Mormon was there to defend if it got over.
Even though it was a miss by Nold, I like that the Golden Bears are going to that back row attack. It's a different look than we've seen from CSP in this postseason so far.
Serve received by Robecki. Sealing rolls it again. 2 for 2 on roll shots for the senior out of Bloomington, Minnesota.
Roadrunners defense is going to have to make that adjustment, be expecting this roll shot. Too much open floor there in that back row.
Handled by Hagar. Worley sets Mormon right to Cassie Sealing. Her swing for the local product, Kaylin Snoozy, the freshman. Snoozy from Sioux Falls. Slide play for Straub. Denied by MSU Denver. And that's dumped in by Concordia St. Paul, just trying to get it over.
Just a scramble play at the net, and Krista Mormon wasn't expecting that ball to get over. She was also trying to dive all the way over from the left pin as a blocker, so just not able to get there in time.
Dump play by Worley, rejected by Milena Strong. Gennerman out of system, sends it deep. Attack air for the freshman who's had a great week, Brooke Gennerman.
Brooke Gennerman moved into the starting lineup actually over Megan Hagar early in the season because she has such a crafty ability and deep toolbox of shots.
Gennerman, a big reason why MSU Denver won in the quarterfinals when she had a team-high 17 kills.
And there's that Roadrunner tempo offense on display. Skylar Michael had a giant hole in that block to be able to hit through.
Second kill early on for Michael, junior out of Loveland, Colorado. Gabrielle Brewer, a really good tournament for the service line. That one is deep. That's her fourth service here, but also 8 service aces in the previous 2 matches this week for Brewer.
Brewer has been the catalyst at the service line for MSU Denver.
Short serve by Cassie Sealing to Akamazo, the libero. Overpass goes to Mormon, who hits it wide left, out of bounds.
This first set is really going to be about which team can minimize the attack errors, and it's some of these scramble plays at the net that are just not going the Roadrunners' way right now.
Brewer running front set to Gennerman, who wiggles it inside the block of Concordia St. Paul.
Golden Bears are going to have to do a better job on that press of shooting low and fast, of returning those hands back to the inner part of the court so that MSU Denver can't tool the high hands.
Kill number 27 this week for Gennerman. Bright future, only a freshman. Dillon, deep serve. Now, MSU Denver, high ace this week, but also pretty high air as well. 22 service errors in the first 2 matches.
You're going to see some early service errors in this first set because the nerves are flowing right now.
An ace. Audrey Waterman, the redshirt freshman setter, her 28th of the year. Golden Bears use 2 setters, Waterman and sophomore Reagan Hickey. Both players in their first-year setting for the Golden Bears. Side out, and the kill on the outside for Hagar.
Neither team so far has been able to go on extended point runs. Nice job by the Roadrunners of siding out, and Hagar continues to step up on that left pin.
Side out percentage for MSU Denver against Tampa in the semis was a big storyline. Sided out 68% of the time in each of the first 2 sets. Right side Worley, the setter, who also attacks her first kill here in the championship.
Worley is so dynamic because she's setting in the back row and then in the front row. Even though she's an undersized attacker, she's got a big arm on her, taking advantage of the giant gap in the block.
Second team All-American during her freshman year from Albuquerque, New Mexico. 3 triple doubles this year for Worley. Good serve by Akamazo. Good approach there. McKenna Nold destroys it on the outside for the kill.
Defending that cross-court shot from Nold is one of the keys today for the Roadrunners. That was one of head coach Jenny Glenn's biggest concerns from this Division II ABCA Player of the Year.
Third kill here in set 1 for Nold, a team-high 6 attacks. Point goes to Concordia St. Paul. Back row attack called on MSU Denver.
Roadrunners just need to settle down a little bit, start to minimize some of these unforced errors.
2 teams still trying to feel out each other here in the match. Championship match. Sioux Falls in the Sanford Pentagon. Third match in 3 days for both programs.
Great serve.
Hagar's going to swing, and Hagar out of system gets the kill.
And what a heads-up job by Megan Hagar. That looks like that was just going to be an overpass into the net, and she flies over, scrambles, and somehow able to get a decent attack on it.
Worley, the setter, will fly it across to Concordia St. Paul. Push from the right side for Nold. Concordia St. Paul continues to move her around, and it's kill number 4 for the D2 National Player of the Year. Adam Young and Kelly Burke back with you at the Pentagon here in Sioux Falls. We talked during the open, Kelly, about Hagar taking over for Annika Helft, who got injured on Thursday. this is proof how things have changed for her during the course of this week.
Look at the massive jump in production and efficiency, too. She has been absolute money on that left pin. And what impressed me most about Megan Hagar is just her ability. She embraced when the freshman Brooke Gennerman came in and took her spot after a handful of matches in September. She didn't pout, she went to work, and she's stepping up when she's getting her opportunity.
That's the third kill on the right side for Skylar Michael, one behind Hagar, who has 4 to pace the Roadrunners.
Skylar Michael is going to be a key on that right side because she has such a heavy arm. She commands a lot of attention from the opposing block.
Hagar will serve. She also had 2 aces in the semifinals. Pin-to-pin set goes to Ellie Sealing, who's rejected by Michael. Sealing gets a touch on the outside.
Ellie Sealing continues to do a great job mixing up her shots. We've seen her go to the roll shot a couple of times to an off-speed tip and then just swinging hard down the line to get those hands.
Redemption on her mind this week. She was in the national championship match as a freshman in 2022 when Concordia St. Paul lost in the title match to West Texas A&M. Worley tight to the backside. Skylar Michael goes cross court again. Her 4th kill.
Really great angle from Skylar Michael, cutting that 4-4. And this right side offense is in a rhythm. I would love to see the Roadrunner setters continue to feed Michael over there. Michael
only averages 2 kills per set. Great start for her in set 1. A little bit too deep there for Boyd, but the Roadrunners continue to serve it aggressive.
And they have to continue to have that same mindset in this title match. It's worked the first 2 matches here in Sioux Falls.
This is Ellie Sealing serving her 137th career match at Concordia St. Paul. Good approach for Gennerman, backed up by Nold. Snoozy still looking for her first kill. That's an attack there for the Sioux Falls native.
Caleb Snoozy has had a phenomenal run here, though, in Sioux Falls. She's been incredibly efficient on that left pin. It's a lot of freshmen here in this postseason that are stepping up.
Waterman on the slide for Straub. That is really hard to defend. We've seen that all week for Concordia St. Paul.
Ilana Straub is an undersized middle at 5'9", but she elevates so well. So dynamic off of 1 foot, and she's got that fast arm.
The timing has been consistently good on the slide this week for the Golden Bears. The attack by Gennerman wiggles the antenna. Timeout is called by the Roadrunners. Jenny Glenn calls a timeout to try to end this Concordia St. Paul run. NCAA.com is your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. For more info, go to NCAA.com. Both teams still trying to feel each other out. I mean, there's still a lot of nerves, I'm sure, throughout the entire first set for both, especially for the Roadrunners on this stage for the first time.
It really feels like the difference right now in this 4-point advantage for CSP is the service line. Been able to get a couple aces, getting the Roadrunners out of system, and then MSU Denver has missed a handful of serves too. So that's really the difference. Both have played pretty even otherwise.
This Roadrunners program has been consistently good for a long time, but this is their first ever championship. 2 days ago, it was their first ever quarterfinal appearance. They had lost in the regional finals each of the previous 4 years. They won 29 matches last year, 25 2 years ago, won 30 matches in 2022, and 28 in 2021, but they just couldn't get past that region. They play in the South Central, and it's a really tough region that's been hard to get through.
The difference with this year's team has just been the belief factor. That's something they've really worked on a lot on in their identity, and they've really turned the corner with that in the last 3 weeks.
Brewer sets up Worley, and Worley collects the kill.
So much of the offense right now for MSU Denver is coming from that right side between Worley and Skylar Michael. So keep feeding the hot hand over there until the Golden Bears show they can stop it.
Worley sets in the back row, attacks in the front row. The second setter used is Brewer. This is Dillon, the DS, who serves it to Concordia St. Paul. Snoozy still looking for her first kill. She won't get it there. 6'3", Krissa Moorman swats it away.
Really great lateral movement from Krissa Moorman, closing that block very quickly.
2 straight for the Roadrunners out of the timeout called by Jenny Glenn. Nold sends it deep, looking for a touch. It wasn't there. And now Brady Starkey will use his first timeout.
Couple misses on that back row attack, but I still have a lot of confidence that McKenna Nold can get that shot going. She's just too good of a player, too efficient, and has that ability to swing and hit from anywhere on the floor.
Hitting percentage only 167 right now for Concordia St. Paul. This is one of the more efficient attacking teams around the country. And they've shown that this week. 342 in the quarterfinals, 277 in the semis. They hit 500 plus in their first set of the week on Thursday. So 167 is super low for them.
It's certainly low, but credit a lot of that to what MSU Denver is doing, getting the Golden Bears out of system at times, and just this offense hasn't quite gotten into a flow yet. Look for a little bit more balance if the Golden Bears can get in system.
This is one of the premier programs regardless of division around the country. 9 national titles, all under Brady Starkey. All 9 came from 2007 through 2017. But this is the first title match trip for Concordia St. Paul since 2022, when the Sealing Twins were freshmen.
The Sealing Twins, remember that runner-up finished very well. Ellie Sealing told us that she has that silver trophy on her desk. She looks at it every day to remind her that she wants to get back to this title match and have a different result.
It's visible for now. That could change, though, if they win the title. Locked away by Hagar. Golden Bears will try the outside for Snoozy, and she's blocked away again.
Roadrunners are doing a much better job with their blocks since that last timeout. That's been the difference in getting them back in this match from a 4-point deficit. Just a great job on the press and turn back.
2 early stuffs for Krissa Moorman, the junior out of Colorado Springs. Slide play to Cooper, cross court and in for the transfer from Division I, Youngstown State.
That slide play, one of the hardest to defend in volleyball because it's so quick to the pin and you have to mirror the hitter all the way over there.
That snaps a 4-0 run for the Roadrunners. Concordia St. Paul, the first to 20. Great handle by Akamazo. Hagar through the seam, dug by Sealing. Cooper back-to-back kills.
Really important that Kelsey Cooper get established early in this match. She is such a weapon in that middle, and she's going to open things up on the pins for her teammates.
There's a lot of different ways the Golden Bears can score on offense, and Cooper is one of those ways. Akamazo passes for Brewer. Worley attacks from the right side, and she terminates. Side out Roadrunners.
That tempo is creating so much space on the opposing block, so Worley basically can drive a back truck through that hole.
3 kills, no errors, 5 attacks for Worley, who averages just over 2 kills per set. Nold looking cross court. It hasn't been there for Nold. That is her 4th attack air.
A little bit unusual start for McKenna Nold, who normally is extremely efficient, especially terminating out of system balls, but hasn't quite been able to dial in the range yet. Looks like she's pressing a bit.
Nold with a tip. Worley will push from the right side. Punched up by Cooper, slapped over by Snoozy. Worley again, another kill for the freshman.
That was an extremely athletic set by Gabrielle Brewer. Her momentum taking her towards the left pin. She reverses the flow of the offense, goes back to that right side where the Roadrunners have had so much success in this first set offensively.
3 players with 4 kills for MSU Denver. Worley joins the party. Hagar with 4, Michael with 4 as well. Reball to Akamazo. Brewer is going to try Worley again. This time she tools the block.
Just great recognition. As a setter, your job is to recognize who has the hot hand, and right now it's that right side offense. Absolutely potent. And the speed that this Roadrunners offense is run is creating a lot of issues with this block. That press not able to get over in time.
Here are Tuesday night's featured men's college basketball games at 7 Eastern on ESPN. A really good non-conference matchup between number 11 Louisville and number 20 Tennessee. Then at 9 on ESPN2, freshman phenom Darren Peterson and 19th ranked Kansas will host Towson and Allen Fieldhouse. Both are also available on the ESPN app. Kelly, you mentioned during the semifinal match for MSU Denver last night, their tempo looked a little bit faster on offense. Does it look the same as yesterday?
It does. And it's a little bit different tempo than we saw in that first quarterfinal match against Wingate. And some of that is because the ball control in the first contact has been a little cleaner. But if MSU Denver is able to have all three attack options available, that tempo to the pins can be absolutely lethal because you have to pick your poison.
Hitting percentage really rising for MSU Denver behind the attacking from Worley, and it continues to dip for Concordia St. Paul. 129, so uncharacteristic of Brady Starkey's program. Sealing on serve receive.
Net violation potentially?
Still waiting for the official signal from the up official. She never pointed which direction. Brady Starkey disagreed right away. The officials blew the whistle and then a delayed reaction before the call. For now, it's point MSU Denver, which would put them on set point. Replay official is Marsha Costley. Down official is April Fricky. April Fricky will talk to Brady Starkey before the challenge. So there will not be a challenge.
It looked initially like Coach Starkey was maybe going to challenge that there was not a net violation, but withdrew that challenge.
So it's set point for the Roadrunners after all of that. Akamazo serves it to Ellie Sealing on the outside for Nold. Backed up by Brewer. Hagar. No touch. Concordia St. Paul stays alive after the attack here by Hagar. Now the Golden Bears with their most efficient server on the service line. 36 aces, only 10 errors for Natalie Robecki, the senior. Serve receive Dillon, not a great pass. Bump set Akamazo. Hagar out of system. Diving dig by Cassie Sealing. Ellie Sealing out of system. Controlled by Akamazo. Back to the right to Worley. Blocked by Sealing. Roadrunners try the left with Hagar, and she terminates as she gets the touch. Roadrunners win set one.
Hagar continues to pick apart opposing blocks because of her ability to swing hard into the high hands, and she's had a ton of success with that already in this first set.
Roadrunners have now won 6 straight sets going back to the quarterfinals. The national championship match from Sioux Falls. Set 2 comes up next. Karina Worley, the freshman from Albuquerque, New Mexico, continues to show why she is one of the more unique players around the country, Kelly.
Always a triple-double threat, but when she's in the front row, she will attack as an undersized right side hitter, and she's having a ton of success already. 5 kills, she's hitting over 550 in this match. 9 of MSU Denver's 16 kills came from the right side in that first set.
5 apiece for Worley and Hagar. Michael in the mix with 4, so that balance continues for MSU Denver. Meanwhile, Kelly, for Concordia St. Paul, how did they get back on track here?
It all starts with getting your star hitter, McKenna Nold, into a better offensive rhythm. Right now, she's hitting for 0. She is very good terminating out of system, and so look for the Golden Bears to feed her early here to get her in a rhythm.
Side out percentage in set 1 of 60% for MSU Denver. That was a big key last night against Tampa, a program that usually goes on long runs. Roadrunners wouldn't allow it last night. They did not allow it in set 1 either.
Oh, right now, Concordia St. Paul siding out at only a 54% clip, so have to do a better job on that serve, receive, and first ball contact.
2 wins this week for Concordia St. Paul, both coming in 4. Roadrunners won in 5 against Wingate when they trailed 2 sets to 1, and then swept previously undefeated Tampa in the nightcap on Friday. Underway in set 2. Serve receive for Ellie Sealing. Snoozy with the attack. Pinballs around and finally drops in. First kill for Snoozy. I think that was by design to get her rolling early on in set 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get the freshman in a rhythm as well. And she's got a really powerful arm, so the ability to take big rips into that block.
Career high 19 kills in the semis for Snoozy, who is from right in town in Sioux Falls. Dig by Hickey. Right side, Nold. She's trying to go cross court. That's another air on the cross court attack.
MSU Denver is doing a really nice job with their block of taking away the cross court look, and it's forcing Nold to swing higher than she would like.
Cassie Sealing gathers. Hickey sets up Cooper in the middle, and she hammers it down for Concordia St. Paul.
The Golden Bears need to continue to force their middle. They do such a good job of really feeding them, even sometimes when they're 10 feet off the net.
4th kill already for Kelsey Cooper. Worley continues to dominate for the righty antenna.
And how about this? The right side attackers for MSU Denver, 0 attack errors right now.
Worley playing a big role in that. 6 kills on 11 attacks. Worley serves it to Ellie Sealing. Nold trying to get back on track, and that'll help the player of the year.
Nold has to get herself in an offensive rhythm here. She is such an integral part of this Concordia St. Paul offense.
4.3 kills per set for Nold. 68 kills in her previous 3 matches coming in, going back to the regionals. High ace, high air. That one a little bit too deep for her second service air. A lot of heat on that serve from Hagar. Ellie Sealing out of system with the kill.
Sealing does such a good job reading the opposing block. She has such a deep toolbox of shots in great range, knows exactly which shot she needs to go to, just cutting that inside the block.
Sealing back to serve. Sends it to Hagar, who shanks it away. Gennerman out of system with the push. Straub out of the middle. Worley will set up Alyssa Boyd, her first kill here in the championship.
Great vision by Alyssa Boyd. Looked like she was going to tip that ball into zone number 4, but instead swipes it the other way.
That was also her first attack here tonight. Known for her blocking, team leader in blocks this year. Also averages 2 kills per set. And we talked a lot in set 1 about MSU Denver staying aggressive. Are they too aggressive right now?
No, the name and recipe for success they've had this season is their aggressiveness. So you've got to continue to keep the gas pedal down.
4 service airs now in the Roadrunners. Gennerman drops it around the block. A kill for Brooke Gennerman, the freshman for the Roadrunners.
Because the minute that the Roadrunners start going to too much off speed and tips, it's going to completely take this team out of their rhythm and the momentum that they're in.
You ride with what got you here. And for the Roadrunners, that is what got them to the championship match for the first time in program history. Great serve again by Brewer. Free ball from Nold. Akamazzo handles, only one blocker surrounding Gennerman, and she goes around the block for the kill.
When you're trying to win your school's first volleyball national championship, you have to be able to put away free balls, and that's exactly what the freshman Brooke Gennerman does.
And the blocker was the setter, Waterman. That's an ace. Up official, Laura Johnson will overrule the line judge. And Brewer collects her 9th ace of the week here in Sioux Falls.
Brewer just has that ability. She has dialed in the line-to-line serve. And right as I say that, of course, the broadcaster's jinx.
That one knuckles a little bit too far. Jenny Glenn told us, she said, our setters have always been really good servers, even going back to years prior. And Brewer fits the mold. Worley as well. Waterman, the setter for Concordia St. Paul, sends it to the Roadrunners. Worley blocked by Nold. Gennerman attacks. She goes cross-court and down.
Gennerman playing well beyond her years. You just don't see a lot of freshmen that have the ability to go deep into a toolbox of shots, but does a great job cutting this ball inside the block.
Gennerman starting to play like she played in the quarterfinals. Was a little more quiet in the semis. 9 kills in the semis, 17, a team high in the quarters. Back row swing for Sealing, met by Brewer. Worley on the slide for Mormon. Lunging dig by the setter, Hickey. Snoozy, over dig by Brewer, and flies out of bounds. So that's kill number 2 for Snoozy, both coming here in set 2.
Golden Bears have to figure out a way to get at least 2 of their pins going, whether it's Snoozy, Nold, or Sealing. There's got to be production at those spots.
Serve reception for Akamazzo. On the outside for Hagar. No touch, attack air for the junior out of Casper, Wyoming.
Hagar overall has done a nice job today of minimizing her errors.
Overpass kill for Nold, and that is all set up on the serve by Rebecki.
That overpass kill just feels like it could be a turning point for CSP. A little bit of momentum, and Nold is such an energy player for this Golden Bear squad, even though she's just a sophomore.
Rebecki, the best server for the Golden Bears. Back set right side of Worley, who was leaning back. Sealing to Sealing, one twin to the other. Mormon from the middle, she destroys it.
The middles of the Roadrunners right now are producing in a big way. It's making it really tough and stressing this CSP block a lot because you have to pick your poison.
2 blocks and now a kill in the match for Mormon. Rebecki passes for Hickey. Off speed from Nold, and it catches Akamazzo off guard in the back row.
That's where Nold is so good, the ability to go to the off-speed shot. She sees the opposing block really well, finds the donut on the floor.
Steered ahead by Hagar, in the middle for Boyd. Over dig, Rebecki. Kept up one-handed by Cooper. And then Hickey and Sealing indecisive, neither one after it.
A little bit of miscommunication. Sealing looked like she thought that Hickey was going to get there to take that second contact and did not in time.
Great pass by Cassie Sealing. Good length shown by Straub, the 2-sport athlete. Roused to the net. Sent across by Worley. Backside Hickey for Nold. Rejected by Boyd. Long set goes to Sealing. Boyd out of the middle. 2 players converge for Concordia St. Paul. Overpass kill for Skylar Michael.
Roadrunners are just winning the net right now. They're up and ready on those overpasses. Skylar Michael in position. It was kind of a choosing there whether it's going to be Boyd or Michael, but Michael in a little bit better position.
5th kill, no errors for Michael. Backing up, serve receive for Ellie Sealing. Flipped across by Strong. Bump set goes to Michael. Tools to block this time. Skylar Michael having a championship match so far.
Skylar Michael is one of the veteran players on this Roadrunners team, and she's got such a heavy arm too that you have to get 4 hands up against her.
Nold crushes it in for the right side.
You can see McKenna Nold starting to get in a better rhythm now. She's been able to kill her last 3 balls. It's really important for this Golden Bears offense. Nice job of cutting that inside the block.
16 attacks for Nold. The next closest Golden Bear is 9. That is Ellie Sealing. Dump play tried by Worley. Met by Cassie Sealing. Ellie Sealing will send it off the block. Matchup in the net, flipped in by Strom, the 2-sport star, using her size and her length and her athleticism.
Elena Strom has such good instincts, and she gets so high for only being 5'9". Look at how much higher she is than everybody else there. But it's that hand-eye coordination, not only from volleyball, but also from track, being a heptathlete.
She's all conference and track and field as well. So juggling a lot during her junior year at Concordia St. Paul. Michael gets to it. Waterman in the middle for Straw, the low swing. Set might have been a tad low as well.
Back to serve for the Roadrunners, Hagar.
Lead back to MSU Denver. Roadrunners 1 set, won by 3. They've won 6 consecutive sets going back to the quarters. They trailed 2 sets to 1 in the quarterfinals. They played really well since. It's a kill for Ellie Sealing.
Nice job by Sealing. She's getting targeted at times on the serve, trying to make her handle a heavy load, but she's able to receive that ball and going right back to her on the kill.
Gennerman wipes it off the block.
That's where you see the aggressiveness of the Roadrunners really come out. Even though Gennerman is a freshman, she's not afraid to just power that ball and take big rips into the block.
Worley and Brewer, the 2 setters, doing a really good job of spreading around the offense throughout the entire match so far for MSU Denver. Waterman, long front set to Snoozy. Snoozy rises up and swings. Boyd controls the dig. That's a middle blocker. Enterman blocked away by Waterman, the setter. And then she pushes it through.
That was a scramble ball too, because Enterman almost didn't get there in time, but a nice job being able to finish off that play. MSU Denver really going point for point right now with the Golden Bears. We got a good one here in Sioux Falls.
It's been a long history of national championships for Concordia St. Paul. They won 7 straight from 2007 through 2013. 07 started the streak. 2009 they went undefeated. The streak of 7 straight ended in 2013, and their most recent national championship in 2017. All 9 national titles coming from 2007 through 2017. This is a program that year in, year out competes for a national title.
The level of consistency is just unmatched in the CSP program. And Coach Starkey will tell you, he wasn't sure at the beginning of this year how far this team could go because it was very youthful, especially at the setter position.
9-2 all-time in championship matches, 33-3 all-time in the quarterfinals, semis, and championship combined. Never lost in the semifinals, which is incredible. They continued that streak last night, and MSU Denver trying to pull off another upset. This would be 2 pretty big upsets in a row for MSU Denver. Michael saves it, great hustle. Worley scrambles and gets it across to Cassie Sealing. Worley, a running back set to Michael, stuffed away by Snoozy.
It's just an excellent job by the freshman Kaylin Snoozy of getting in position in time to make that block. Watch her close this, gets pressed, she's up, she's over, she's putting up a brick wall.
She's trying to find a way to impact this match right now. She struggled attacking, and that's her first block today. That might jumpstart the Golden Bears. Gennerman won't allow it. Wiggles it through the block on the outside.
And that block of CSP is just a hair late to close. And so if you give Gennerman a gap, she's going to find it.
Gennerman with 7 kills. True freshman from Monument, Colorado. 33 kills this week. Snoozy gets called for a lift. I was about to say she kind of threw that down the line. She gets called for a lift. Timeout Brady Starkey.
CSP's done a better job in this second set of minimizing the attack errors, but this is such a judgment call on this lift. Just made a little bit too long a contact with that ball.
3-point lead now for MSU Denver. The most wonderful time of the year rolls on with the IS-4S Salute to Veterans Bowl. Troy squares off against Cam Cook, the nation's leading rusher, and Jacksonville State out of Conference USA. Tuesday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Should be a good one between Alabama schools at the historic Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. Great time of the year. Glad you're with us alongside Kelly Burke, Adam Young with you. MSU Denver trying to go up 2-0 against the 9-time national champion.
This really feels like a must-win set for the Golden Bears because MSU Denver is riding so much momentum here in Sioux Falls. They're really playing very loose right now, especially for a team that has never been in this situation.
Concordia St. Paul still hitting below 200, 167 at 288 for the year. That is third best in the country at Division II. So this is unheard of, and you have to credit the defense, especially up front, for MSU Denver so far.
Yeah, and the serving too, getting CSP out of system, making them a little bit more one-dimensional than we've seen.
Gennerman pushes it, and it's wide left, no touch. He's trying to swipe it off the block. Audrey Waterman, the redshirt freshman setter for Concordia St. Paul out of Maple Grove in Minnesota. Serves it to Hagar. Brewer has to run to get there. Out of system, off speed from Gennerman. Nold from the right side, a great approach, and she hammers it through.
You have to get 4 hands up against McKenna Nold. You got to get a block touch on her because she hits with so much pace and power and range.
8th kill for Nold here in the championship match. Her first ever appearance in the title match. Serve receive for Gennerman. Right side Worley, who's dominated for that right antenna. This time she sends it long. And Concordia St. Paul ties it up at 18.
The first attack error of the day for Worley.
MSU Denver hitting a very respectable 292. Brewer sets up Gennerman, who squeezes this one through the block. Side out for the Roadrunners.
I really like the decision there by Gabrielle Brewer to go back to her freshman, Brooke Gennerman. It's showing confidence in your hitter. Get her in a rhythm. Great serve.
Overpass by Ellie Sealing. In system, Mormon drops it through for MSU Denver.
The difference for the Roadrunners right now is at the surface line. Getting over passes and it is allowing the Roadrunners to have all 3 attack options available in transition and to set their middles.
Second kill for Mormon. Also has 3 denials at the net defensively. And MSU Denver able to counter the run by Concordia St. Paul, and going up 2-0 would be major for MSU Denver.
This MSU Denver team just plays so loose, and when you talk to this team, The biggest thing you hear is the belief factor. It's something that they've really worked on throughout the season, but it didn't click initially early in the year. It was really in the last 3 weeks here that something has turned the corner with that belief factor. They're playing very fearless. They're not feeling the pressure that most teams do in this big stage.
Haven't lost since October 3rd, which was a match against Colorado School of Mines. Other 2 losses this year against Wayne State from Nebraska and Colorado Mesa. So all the losses came early on this year for MSU Denver. The first program for the RMAC to reach the championship match since Nebraska Kearney 2005. It's been a while for that conference. And now MSU Denver leads by 2 late in set 2. Jenny Glenn has said this has always been the goal at MSU Denver. Get to the championship match and then win it. Having to play without Annika Health, their star player, since set 1 on Thursday. Nold is dug by Brewer. Hagar cuts it right to Cassie Sealing. Joust at the net. Nold goes off the arm of Mormon and down.
That's where Nold is so good, is out of system balls in transition like that. Her ability with no approach to just go kill that.
Double figures and kills now for Nold with 10. By far pacing Concordia St. Paul. Long back set to Worley. Great setup by Brewer.
Excellent decision by Gabrielle Brewer, who's getting it done not only at the service line, but as a setter, back setting that. Your job as a setter is to get your hitters one-on-one matchups, and that's exactly what Worley had.
That connection's been really good all year. Those 2 players, of course, know each other very well. Both are setters, but Worley also attacks.
Brewer's been instrumental in mentoring Worley as a freshman.
Ellie Sealing turned away. Roadrunners by 3.
Roadrunners block has also turned a corner here in the last couple weeks. And when you got Alyssa Boyd leading the charge, that is a really good thing.
That was block number 4 here tonight for MSU Denver. Nold goes off the top of the block and uses it for kill number 11.
Nold has really taken over this second set offensively for CSP. But the Golden Bears need a second attacker to really step up.
Point in the middle, hammers it home.
And the ability of the Roadrunners to be able to set their middles has been one of the big differences in this second set. Have been in system way more, all 3 attack options available. Wide open net for Alyssa Boyd.
Only 4 swings for Boyd, 2 kills, no errors. Serve reception for Cassie Sealing. Straub is dug out by Dillon. Hagar off the block. Flies out of bounds. Point to MSU Denver.
Hagar just uses the block so much. She's got a really fast arm, so as a blocker, it can mess with your timing and your vision.
Set point for the Roadrunners. What a story this has been. One-handed set by Hickey. Deep swing for Straub. No touch. Roadrunners go up 2-0 in the championship.
MSU Denver right now is getting it done in every phase of the game and forcing Concordia St. Paul into a lot of attack errors, 6 in that second set.
25-20 in set 2 after 25-22 in set 1. Team high 8 kills for the freshman Gennerman, 6 for Michael, 7 for Worley, 7 for Hagar. Concordia St. Paul head coach Brady Starkey kind enough to join us. Coach, what needs to change ahead of set 3?
We just kind of need to relax and play. I feel like we're just tight, not loose. You know, they're playing pretty free over there. We got to be able to get up and take some swings right here. Our setters got to get a little bit more better on location of their sets and stuff like that, kind of running our tempo of our offense. I feel like we're serving and passing all right. It's just, our offense isn't flowing very well.
Coach, you were able to get McKenna Nold into a better rhythm in that second set, but what other attackers do you need to see step up here in the third?
I mean, you know, it's more given a chance to step up, I guess I would say. So, you know, it's like it's just the rhythm of our offense is off a little bit. That's all.
Coach, thanks so much. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
Three-time National Coach of the Year, Brady Starkey. MSU Denver, their first championship appearance. They win the first 2 sets. Intermission comes up next from Sioux Falls. Jenny Glenn's Roadrunners take the first 2 sets here in the national championship match, and Coach is joining us right now near her bench area. Coach, what's been clicking so far in the first 2 for your squad?
Yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job defending what we need to defend in those key moments, and then we're passing well enough to run a pretty effective offense. So I like the shots our hitters are taking, and I think we're distributing and moving the ball around well.
Coach, how is your block frustrating CSP's hitters the most?
I think anytime you can turn them back, you know, that's going to frustrate us. It's going to force them into a different shot. And Chris and Mormon's size kind of alter shots for opponents, and I think that's what's happening out there.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Jenny Glenn trying to bring the Roadrunners their first ever national championship. Meanwhile, Concordia St. Paul is trying to tie the NCAA record across all divisions for the most volleyball national titles. Pretty good company right here with Stanford and Division III WashU. There's 10 titles for WashU. They had 6 in a row during the 1990 stretch.
It's just unbelievable company you're in with Stanford with 9, WashU, and Concordia St. Paul has had quite the track record under Coach Brady Starkey, who says he doesn't even talk about wins and losses with his team.
You know, he brought up being loose, and he said right now his team is tight, they're not loose, which is interesting because the entire program is kind of built around being loose and not feeling the pressure in moments like this, and they felt the pressure so far in the first 2.
Somebody might need to bust out a pickle joke in the huddle. We were told earlier that sometimes you're not even talking volleyball in the huddle.
The pickle joke was a good one. They keep things loose, and we noticed that early on Thursday in the quarterfinals, but as the moment gets bigger and bigger, it's probably hard to keep that mentality of staying loose. So we'll see if things change for Concordia St. Paul.
You still see Kelsey Cooper out there in the front of the net, smiling and joking around with Snoozy and Nold.
Best case scenario now for the Golden Bears is a reverse sweep. And Karina Worley starts with a kill for the right side for kill number 8 for the freshman.
The speed that MSU Denver's offense is run at is creating so many issues. It's predicated on creating gaps in the block, and it's executing that to perfection right now.
2 freshmen leading the way. 8 kills for Worley, 8 kills for Gennerman. Nold goes through the seam, a slight hole, a mini hole in the block, and Nold found it.
Nold just doesn't hit the same shot twice. She has such a deep toolbox of shots, and what's wild is that Coach Starkey said she's only really at about 60% of her potential. Just a sophomore, she's got a real bright future.
That tempo, Kelly, for MSU Denver, is it collective serve receive, the setters, everybody kind of being quick?
Yes, and what starts it, that even allows the tempo, is the good first ball contact. If you don't have a good first ball contact, you're not running tempo to the pins.
Attack air number 5 for Nold. Still hitting .348 though. He's hitting .275, a very respectable number for the year for an outside and right side attacker.
Especially because earlier today she started hitting in the negative.
One-handed dig by Cassie Sealing, a free ball from Robecki to Akamazo. Hickey on the outside for Ellie Sealing, who drops it in. Nice finesse by the senior.
Just craftiness by Sealing, finding the back of zone number 1, scrambling, going over the top of the block.
That might have been her only shot. Able to roll it through. Tight set to Boyd, 2 blockers there. Cooper alongside Nold for Concordia St. Paul.
CSP reading that perfectly, that set pretty tight to the net too, so not a lot of room for Boyd to maneuver.
4-0 run here in set 3 for the Golden Bears after the first point went to MSU Denver on the kill for Worley. Worley attacks, dug out by the setter Hickey. Nold rips it in.
Nold just continues to get hotter and hotter, and that cross-court shot was one of the biggest concerns that Jenny Glenn had. That cross-court shot is firing on all cylinders right now for McKenna Nold, who is into double-digit kills, 14 of them here in the third.
Second championship match appearance for the Sealing twins, Ellie and Cassie. And when you can't make your graduation because of the national championship, you have an impromptu ceremony with the leadership of Concordia St. Paul. One of the coolest things you'll see this week. Kelly, they did this in the auxiliary gym here at the Pentagon, and they got their diplomas, they got a celebration, and they had no idea that the university was planning that for them.
And the best part is mom and dad and grandma got to be in attendance. So a nice little surprise. And Sealing twins are going to continue their volleyball careers. They will head in the spring to play beach volleyball at New Orleans.
Cassie, the libero, was the recipient this week of the Elite Scholar Athlete Award. Has a 4.0 GPA, majoring in mathematics. She was honored on Wednesday night at the Division II banquet with that Elite Scholar Athlete Award. So two very impressive young women who we got to chat with earlier today. And I know the family, mom and dad, and the entire family proud of the Sealing twins and the careers they've had. Nold tips it in, a 3-point lead here for Concordia St. Paul.
Just a fun dynamic, too, between the twin sisters who don't really fight too much. They said unless there's an ace between them, because they're in the back row together on serve receive.
There were a lot of good stories exchanged earlier today, and we told one of them earlier about the runner-up trophy sitting on the desk for both where they live. They look at it every single day to remind them how much they wanted to get back here, and not just get back here, but win here in their final go-around.
We're part of the championship runner-up loss as true freshmen.
For the folks at home that don't know, each individual player gets a mini trophy at the end of the tournament. If you finish runner-up or if you win it, so you get a mini replica, if you will, the national championship trophy. And that is what sits on the desk at home for both. Gennerman swipes the block.
It's been a nice response by the Roadrunners out of that timeout. In a better rhythm offensively, the serving's been tough.
How good has Gennerman been here tonight? 9 kills to pace MSU Denver.
Outstanding, does not play like a freshman at all. She's been the stabilizing force of this MSU Denver offense.
Bright future for both programs, and for the first time all week, the timing wasn't there in the slide. Waterman set it behind Straub.
And that's the first attack error of this set for Concordia St. Paul, who had struggled with attack errors in the previous 2 sets.
Straub telling Waterman, you're fine. Waterman in her first-year setting for Concordia St. Paul. And a great setter graduate. The coach's daughter, Tegan Starkey, graduated after a stellar 4-year career with the Golden Bears.
Now on staff.
Gennerman blocked away. Straub denied it.
The block has come a lot more alive for CSP in this third set, and it's creating some issues at the net. So nice job teaming up here. Straub on that right side pin, along with Audrey Waterman, the setter.
Straub just explodes off the floor. She is listed 5'9", but plays a whole lot bigger.
They're so springy. Speaking of the block, Kaylin Snoozy too. I like the way that even though her offense hasn't gotten in a rhythm, she's impacting this match with her defense.
First time we called Skylar Michaels' name in a while. Got off to a great start in set 1. She now has 7 kills, only 1 attack error. Snoozy on the outside. Still trying to get rolling offensively. MSU Denver trying to tie it up. The slide to Straub. Timing still wasn't there. Norman pushes it through in the middle. We're tied up at 8.
Roadrunners do such a nice job of activating their middles in transition. It makes it extremely stressful on opposing defenses because you have a one-on-one block.
They're setting Mormon a little more than usual. An ace for Brewer. Number 9 this week for the junior from Gurnee, Illinois.
With Gabrielle Brewer at the service line, this is where the Roadrunners can go on an extended point run. She's got such a lethal line-to-line serve, it just completely drops off.
Slide play for Strong, denied by Mormon. The slide is not as quick as it was the first two matches this week for CSP.
No, the timing is a little bit off right now between setter and hitter, and that slide play was an absolute weapon the first two matches for CSP.
Both with Straub and also with Cooper. When CSP needed a point, they were running that slide with either of those two players. Deep swing for Gennerman, side out for the Golden Bears.
Rear attacker from the freshman who has found her way into a starting role on this court because she's been able to minimize the errors throughout this season.
Backside to Worley. Over it goes to Gennerman, who pounds it off the hands of Cassie Sealing.
It's almost unfair how fast this offense is to their right pin. Hitting down on that block while it's still on its way up. Giant hole for Worley to work with.
2-point lead here in the third for the Roadrunners. They won each of the first two sets. They've won 7 straight sets going back to the quarterfinals on Thursday. And they continue to defend Snoozy at a high level. Brewer, Mormon from the middle. Set was low. Mormon 6'3", so it's hard to set her high. And the attack low in the net.
Got to give her a little bit higher ball. It also was a tough set because Gabrielle Brewer was 10 feet off the net, too.
Waterman, the setter for the Golden Bears, sends it to Akamazo, who controls it. Cooper swings out of the reach of Brewer.
Kelsey Cooper has been, when CSP's been able to find her, she's been really effective in the middle. Has great court vision, able to hit her on the block.
Sophomore from St. Croix Falls in Wisconsin. Transferred in this year from Division I, Youngstown State, where she played a ton as a freshman. The top blocker there a year ago. Rolled by Snoozy, met by Hagar. An attack for Worley, dug out by Nold. Snoozy again, denied again. Cooper turned away. Mormon using her 6'3" size.
Mormon's length is creating so many issues right now on the block. Those long, lanky arms at 6'3". She's getting that press far over the net.
It is 17 attacks for Snoozy, only 2 kills. And she was one of the key offensive players all week.
She's been so efficient here in Sioux Falls.
Bump set goes to Hagar, who rolls it off the net and cross court and down.
MSU Denver is just terminating everything right now, including scramble plays and out-of-system balls. Megan Hagar, this has been her coming out party since that Annika health injury, and she has stepped up in the biggest of ways.
She's approaching a double-double here in the championship. 8 kills, 11 digs. Snoozy rejected again. This time it's saved, though, by Concordia St. Paul. Worley trying to tip it off the block, and she will successfully.
It's a smart shot, and I'm so impressed with Karina Worley's ability as an attacker, especially being undersized, but she just always is making the right decision. And some of that is because being a setter, you know what your attacker needs and what shot you need to go to.
Kelly, we saw the numbers for Worley going into it, and you were trying to figure out going into this week, how would it look? Has it looked the way you thought it would look for Worley, who does so many things well?
It's looked even better than I thought, because Worley plays tremendous defense. Quarterfinal match, she had 26 digs, and then her ability to be extremely efficient on that right side as a hitter. She's got a pretty deep toolbox of shots for being able to play both positions.
Here are Tuesday night's featured men's college basketball games at 7 Eastern on ESPN. A great non-conference matchup between number 11 Louisville and number 20 Tennessee. Then at 9 on ESPN2, 19th ranked Kansas will host Towson at Allen Fieldhouse. Both also available on the ESPN app. With Kelly Burke, Adam Young on hand. And the blocking for MSU Denver, doubling up the block of Concordia St. Paul. 6 blocks for the Roadrunners, only 3 for the Golden Bears.
They're just dominating right now at the net, particularly in this third set, is this MSU Denver block. It's been a real...
"16 kills now for Nold. 2-point advantage for MSU Denver. Trying to win in 3 and sweep for the 18th time in their previous 23 matches. Hagar gets the touch.
Hagar just attacks that block so well. You give her a sliver of space, if you don't close that block to the antenna, she's going to find it, and she's so good at that line shot.
Running back set by Hickey, a touch for Nold. And Concordia St. Paul will need a lot of that if they want to come back in the match.
You're going to have to keep finding McKenna Nold here offensively as much as you can.
Good pass by Akamazo. Through the seam goes Hagar. Free ball to Akamazo. Hagar through the seam again.
Way too big of a seam for Megan Hagar to work with, and she continues to just shine here on the biggest of stages. MSU Denver doing a nice job getting her the volleyball with a lot of gaps in that block.
That's a double-double now for Hagar. 10 kills, 11 digs in the championship match. Nold will use the block.
Nice job of that block being in position. Just have to turn those hands back to the inner part of the court so Nold can't tool it.
Once again for Hagar, the playing time increased on Thursday when All-American Annika Health went down with a knee injury late in set 1. MSU Denver dropped that opening set. Since then, they've only lost 1 set the rest of the week.
And that was really a turning point, because when Health went down early in that first set, it ended up being a rallying cry for this Roadrunners team, but it could have very easily gone the other way.
Yeah, we said when it happened, this is going to go one direction or the other, and it went in the positive direction for MSU Denver the rest of the week. Out of system, Michael pops it off the block, backed up by Cassie Sealing.
What hustle by Sealing to chase that down.
Michael for the right side again. Bump set by Straub, blocked by Boyd. Nold from the back row, pops it off the block and down. McKenna Nold all over the floor.
McKenna Nold is just the bailout. When you're scrambling offensively, you need a terminal point. You're finding her, even from the back row, she's very effective.
This is a good timeout here for MSU Denver, trying to slow down Concordia St. Paul. Golden Bears trying to win set 3 and then keep on rolling and try to reverse sweep here in the championship.
This is the exact place where the Golden Bears have to really rely on the looseness of this team, the no pressure environment that they've really cultivated.
19 kills for McKenna Nold. Kind of a slow start early, but really picking up in sets 2 and 3. She's sitting over 400 here in the title match.
This is what makes McKenna Nold a National Player of the Year. Her ability to work her way out of early errors, to get herself in a rhythm, has incredibly deep range, has all the shots. You can set her anywhere on the court, and she is that go-to player in bailout situations for CSP.
How about this? 5 kills, 5 errors to start. Since then, no errors, 14 kills.
She just has that ability to flip a switch, and it's just scary how good she can possibly be. Just a sophomore, already the Division II ABCA National Player of the Year.
Kind of a late bloomer in high school as an attacker, and only scratching the surface of what she can be. I think Brady Starkey told us she's around 60% of where her potential should be at some point during her career. which is scary to think because she's already the National Player of the Year. Overhand handle for Hagar. Gennerman, a big hole in the block for Concordia St. Paul.
Just too many holes right now in that right side block, giving a lot of gaps to Hagar and Gennerman on that left pin.
The serve from Alyssa Boyd. Serves it to Robecki. An overpass to Mormon. Left-handed push for Straub. Right idea by Gennerman, but could not execute.
Looked like was trying to swipe that off the fingers of the block, but went a little bit errant.
.166 career aces for Ellie Sealing, who sends it in the net. Service air. Lead down to 1 for Concordia St. Paul.
Well, this is where it becomes a little dangerous because you've got Gabrielle Brewer now in to serve for the Roadrunners.
2 aces for Brewer tonight. She has 10 for the week. Snoozy, cross court and down. She really needed that for kill number 3.
And that all started better first ball contact on Brewer's serve, which has created some issues here today, especially in the first 2 sets. Snoozy, though, doing a better job here of starting to find a rhythm.
Golden Bears, the first to 20. Now they lead by 3. First time we've seen serve-receive breakdown for MSU Denver.
Excellent job by the senior Cassie Sealing of serving the seam in the back row between Brewer and the libero Akamazo.
Career ace number 120 for Cassie Sealing. Worley's attack is dug. Cooper goes off the block in the middle.
CSP has found the light here late in the third. It's all started at the service line. Sealing applying a lot of pressure right now.
Akamazo gathers for Brewer. Gennerman on the outside. Side out for the Roadrunners.
101 matchup for Gennerman to work with, and does such a nice job of finding the high fingertips, and that's just something you frankly don't see a lot from freshmen. They just don't have that ability and high IQ early in their careers to go off the high hands.
12 kills now for Gennerman. Dillon serving for the Roadrunner. Pops it off the top of the net. There were a lot of service errors early for MSU Denver, but they were deep, not in the net. Waterman drives it across to Akamazo. Hagar blocks solo by Nold. Worley, blocked late to get there, but still dug out by Concordia St. Paul. Brewer, long front set for Hagar. Off the block and down. Hagar the kill, her 11.
Better job of using the block that time by Hagar. McKenna Nold is a really good right side blocker. Just needs to turn those fingertips back to the inner part of the court.
Mia Akamazo, the sophomore libero from Litchfield Park, Arizona, serves it to Ellie Sealing. Rising high as Nold, another kill. 20 for her. And she's now had 20 plus in 4 straight matches.
When you're able to go off the fingertips of the block, it opens up so much more court for you as an attacker. Nold executes it really well.
Set point for CSP. The senior Robecki, the server. Out of rotation called on MSU Denver.
Wow.
The first time we've seen that called the entire week for any team. So a unique way to finish. Out of rotation called on the Roadrunners, and the Golden Bears win set 3 to stay alive here in the championship match. Roadrunners looking for their first title. Concordia St. Paul looking for their 10th. We go to set 4 here in Sioux Falls. we go to set 4 here in the national championship match in Division II. Concordia St. Paul stays alive in set 3. They win by a handful, and things have changed now offensively for the Golden Bears, Kelly.
CSP getting on track offensively, but it really all started because the serve receive stabilized for the Golden Bears, so it allowed them to have all 3 attack options available, hitting much better in that third set. Also playing much better floor defense as well. 19 digs alone in that 4th set.
And the right arm of McKenna Nold has been on fire after a slow start with 5 kills, 5 errors early. Since then, 15 kills, no errors for Nold. They continue to go to her. She's attacked it 32 times already.
And just 2 attack errors as a team in that 3rd set when the Golden Bears had 13 in the first 2.
MSU Denver will start on serve with Dillon. Serve receive's been really good lately for Concordia St. Paul, and it leads to another kill for Nold.
McKenna Nold's just putting this CSP team on her back offensively right now. You got to keep feeding her the ball because MSU Denver doesn't have an answer for her.
CSP trying to send us to a 5th. Not a great pass from Akamazo. Hagar rolls it, met by Robecki. Nold from the right side, pushed up by Dillon. Cross court and down, great swing by Hagar.
Unbelievable shot by Hagar. Rolls it and just clips the sideline in zone 4. That is a tough angle too, to be able to hit. That ball was behind her head too.
Nold took something off it. Dump play by Brewer. Dug out by Cassie Sealing. Over dig by Hagar. Rejection by Worley and Boyt. Rolled by Ellie Sealing. Back set to Worley. Goes hard off the top of the block. Blocked away. Alyssa Boyt.
Alyssa Boyd's just fierce as a blocker. She takes it personally and she closes so well to the pin. Look at her get there in time and get her press over.
2 blocks here tonight for Boyd, who had 5 in the semifinals. Great dig by Dillon. And it's punched over out of bounds by MSU Denver, it appeared, but it was touched by CSP. Brady Starkey can't believe it. Pops out of his chair quickly. And I think he will challenge here.
Scrambling going on at the net. From that angle, it looks like it's touched because it looks like the rotation of the ball changes. So even if a fingernail were to graze this ball. From that angle, it's a little bit tougher to tell. For this to be overturned, it'd have to be irrefutable evidence in the contrary.
Both head coaches still with 2 challenges left. You get the additional if you go to a 5th. So this is a no-brainer challenge early on here in the 4th for Brady Starkey. To the naked eye, it didn't seem like it was touched, but when you see the replay,
at first replay, it looks like it was. The second replay, it's harder to tell. Looks like it could have been on the way up.
Replay official, Marcia Costley, April Fricky, the down official, Laura Johnson, the up official.
Remember though that CSP lost a challenge in the first set, so if they do not win this challenge, they would not have another one unless we go to a 5th set.
Point goes to Concordia St. Paul, so they say it was not touched.
Good challenge by Coach Starkey.
He's a little frustrated too because going back to set 2, his team had a pretty good flow going on, and I want to try to continue that here in the 3rd, or in the 4th, I should say. Brewer in the middle for Boyd. Cooper kept it up. free ball by Nold. Worley, no touch, attack air for Worley.
CSP's done a much better job in the last set of getting this MSU Denver offense out of rhythm. They haven't been able to run tempo as much. It started at the service line.
Point goes to MSU Denver. Strong went over. Just trying to pull the hands back.
A little bit too early. Gotta let the opposing team have a chance of playing that ball.
I think she knew it right away.
Gotta give Brewer a chance there to play that.
Nold rises up for the right side. Dug out by Akamazo. Cross-court push for Skylar Michael. Ellie Sealing over the block. Too deep.
This first set's gonna come down to who can minimize the errors and win the serve-receive battle.
There's a big storyline going into tonight. Both teams serve it tough. Both have been good all week on serve-receive. Nold using her length. Boyd will push it and bury it back line. Perfect placement for Alyssa Boyd.
Definitely not how Alyssa Boyd threw it up. Just kind of throwing up a prayer, but it manages to just fall in the end line.
Timeout called by Brady Starkey. 2 sets to 1 lead. We're in set 4. MSU Denver on top. 4-seed MSU Denver leads here in set 4, trying to become the second straight 4-seed to win the national title. Lynn won it as the 4-seed last year. 6-seed won it 2 years ago. 2022 it was a 3-seed. Tampa won it in 21. Cal State San Bernardino went undefeated in 2019.
Very rare that you get a 1-seed that able to get all the way through the national title.
Hagar squeezes it through for MSU Denver. We're doubling up CSP here in set 4.
MSU Denver really looks energized since that first time out.
Able to regroup after losing the third. Won the first 2 sets here tonight. Dig for Dillon. Boyd slaps it over far line to Rebecki. Off speed from Nold. Michael got a hand on it. Hagar sends it deep, but there was a touch.
Hagar has just made a living today going off the high hands of that CSP block. Ball pretty tight to the net. It's her only option of how to swing here and swipes it perfectly off the top of the block.
This is a 5-0 run for MSU Denver. Nold in the middle. She's asking for a touch. They won't give it to her. 6-0 run for the Roadrunners.
I do like that look, though, of putting Nold in the middle, giving a different look to this defense.
Worley backs up Ellie Sealing. Slide play for Straub, and she wiggles it through. First time they've executed that in a while.
Alyssa Boyd was there. She just was late on the press, so MSU Denver needs to make sure they're getting across fast and low.
Concordia St. Paul playing from behind in the match and playing from behind here in set 4. Boy, this time goes to CSP on a play at the net. Let's see if Nold can keep it in play. High risk, high reward from the service line all year for her. Great serve to a lunging Dillon. Hagar rises up and terminates cross court.
Hagar's just taking over this fourth set offensively for MSU Denver. She has been absolutely excellent today, and the Golden Bears just don't have an answer for her, even with the block.
Now the Roadrunners get Nold off the service line where she can be dangerous. Hagar sends it to Ellie Sealing, who shakes it away. Free ball from Nold. Hagar, Worley in the middle for Boyd. Good maneuver in midair. Nice adjustment by Boyd to tip it in.
Roadrunners have done an excellent job all evening of capitalizing and terminating those free ball opportunities when the Golden Bears have sent them over.
This has been a resilient group all year and all week for MSU Denver. There's been some patches where they've struggled, but each time they struggle, they find a way to get back on track.
MSU Denver has really thrived. Coach Jenny Glenn told them coming into Sioux Falls, we can't act like first-timers, and they have looked nothing like it.
Yeah, we thought going into Thursday there would be some nerves for MSU Denver. The program had never been on the quarterfinal stage, let alone the national championship stage here a couple of days later. There has not been nerves at all the entire week. They're hitting 283 and holding Concordia St. Paul to 183 here in the title match. Which
is the big piece of it, because the Golden Bears are normally 4th nationally in hitting percentage at 287. So you're completely taking this Golden Bears offense out of their rhythm, and it's largely started at the service line.
Roadrunners got a great match Thursday from Gennerman, a great match Friday from Hagar, and now today both players playing really well together for MSU Denver.
A potent 1-2 punch right now on the pins.
And that is not the 1-2 punch that the Roadrunners thought they would have going into the tournament before the injury to star All-American Annika Health. Gennerman winds up, one-handed dig by Rebecki. Ellie Sealing recovers. Worley sets up Boyd, her second straight kill.
The Roadrunners' ability to run their middles in transition is the difference right now in this fourth set, making it very stressful on this CSP block because you're only going to have a one-on-one matchup.
Worley, back set, Skylar Michael buries it.
Just such great setting decisions going on, creating one-on-one matchups all over the court, and that's where the balance of this Roadrunners offense is so potent. Skylar Michael teeing off on a one-on-one matchup.
Brady Starkey already out of timeouts here in set 4. Nold is blocked away solo by Boyd.
Listen, Boyd sending a message right now at the net. The back row attack is one of the hardest plays to block in volleyball because you're typically only going to have a solo blocker up against it, but she reads this and tracks it perfectly.
5-0 run for the Roadrunners. Boyd solo again, denying Straub. Straub goes off the top of the block. Outside for Gennerman, only one blocker there. Waterman got hands on it. Timing not great on the slide again with Straub. Pushed over by Boyd, met by Nold. Ellie Sealing cuts it to Akamazo. Straub terminates, side out for CSP.
Good things happen when you run your middles in transition. Elena Straub's had a fairly quiet night, hasn't quite been able to get into her rhythm, but doing a nice job there, just going around the block of Boyd.
Negative 043 hitting clip for Straub, who is hitting a team best 354 for the year. Boyd blocked by Straub. Back-to-back points for the junior from Jordan, Minnesota.
Feels like it could be a turning point for CSP. Straub is the most emotional player for this Golden Bears squad and doing a fantastic job of reading Boyd.
And if the offense isn't there, she can make an impact on defense. Gennerman clips the tape and rolls it through.
Just a friendly bounce that went MSU Denver's way with total mishit by Gennerman.
MSU Denver with wins this week in 5 sets against Wingate, 3 sets against previously undefeated Tampa. 4 set wins against Gannon and Point Loma for Concordia St. Paul. Snoozy will get a touch.
Important that CSP get someone other than McKenna Nold going here in this 4th set as they try to climb their way back from a 6-point deficit.
Just the 4th kill tonight for Snoozy on attack number 21. Gennerman out of system. Snoozy cuts it through. 2 in a row for Snoozy.
Love the resilience that the freshman Kaylin Snoozy is showing right now. Back-to-back points. Maybe this could be the turning point of getting her in a rhythm.
Went to high school in Sioux Falls, 9 miles from the Pentagon at Washington High School. Getterman rips it in.
Getterman just hits with so much force. And she has such a short-term memory, too. If she gets blocked the previous play, moves right on.
6-point advantage for MSU Denver, trying to win the match in 4 sets and win their first ever national championship. Standing serve again by Brewer. Placement from Cooper along that far line. She saw the opening and found it.
Kelsey Cooper is pretty crafty for a middle. She doesn't get super high, but she does have a live arm, and that time going to the off-speed look.
Waterman serves, Hagar gathers. Brewer the front set to Getterman. Overhead pump set, I think hit the antenna. I'm going to give the point to MSU Denver. Brady Starkey pops out of his chair quickly. I think it hit the antenna. And I don't think Concordia St. Paul touched it before it hit the antenna.
It looks like Nold touched it, but yeah.
I think Concordia St. Paul touched it into the antenna. I think that's the right call.
And this isn't a call that can be reviewed either. They're going to reverse it. Line judge was meeting with the up official.
Ball reversed without a challenge. Jenny Glenn talking to the down official, April Fricky. We've had a couple of unusual plays here in this match. And that's one of them. And now Jenny Glenn will challenge the call. So Brady Starkey able to get it reversed without a challenge, and Jenny Glenn will use one.
Yeah, so it's actually going to be considered a net fault, technically, is what they're going to call it, but you can challenge through the net fault call that a player made contact or didn't make contact with the antenna. From that angle, it looks like it touches the antenna first before Nold. So this call would likely stand from that angle.
Looks like the call is already in. Replay official Marcia Costley will explain it to April Fricky. All 3 referees working their first Division II national championship match. Point MSU Denver.
Wow, reverse.
We fully went back and forth a couple of times during that discussion.
And sometimes the officials have different angles than we have showing you on the broadcast. Changes things quite a bit from 4-point deficit now to 6.
Concordia St. Paul trying to stay alive and force a 5th. MSU Denver won set 1 by 3. They won set 2 by 5. The third went to Concordia St. Paul 25-20. So now Emerson Dillon, the freshman, will be on the service line for MSU Denver. Trying to win their first ever national title. Nold the roll. Overhand handle by Hagar. Push deep in the corner by Worley. Nold goes hard off the block.
Nold just taking advantage. That block of Krista Mormon was on its way up, and she was hitting down into it. Just chops it off the top of the fingertips of Mormon's outer hand.
22nd kill for Nold, matching her number in the semifinal round, which was a 4-set win. Hagar off the back of Cooper, free-balled by Hickey. Hagar through the seam, kept up initially by Ellie Sealing, and Hagar will collect kill number 16 here in the final. That
was all made possible because the middle blocker had to hold initially with Krista Mormon, so it gave a little bit of a gap in the seam of that block.
Service error number 9 on MSU Denver. Nine plus errors in 5 straight matches, but also a lot of aces mixed in as well. They serve it tough.
Great up.
Strom is dug by Akamazo, the MSU Denver libero. Kept up by Ellie Sealing. Bump set by Cooper. And Nold will swipe the block. The assist to Kelsey Cooper.
Nold really smartly too, pulling back a little on the power there to just thread it through that block, which hadn't quite closed.
Shanked away Dillon, right to Worley though. Out of system swing, Hagar to deep. Timeout, MSU Denver. Jenny Glenn can sense the run coming from Concordia St. Paul.
CSP's done a nice job of getting MSU Denver out of system. Makes it that offense super predictable because Golden Bears know that that ball is going to that left pin.
Concordia St. Paul playing in their 12th national championship match, seeking their 10th national title. MSU Denver on this stage for the first ever time, looking for their first national title. Concordia St. Paul, once again, 9-2 all-time in 11 championship matches. They had runner-up finishes in 2003 and 2022, when the Sealing twins were freshmen for CSP.
This is still very much a young team, too, for CSP. Had a lot of turnover this offseason, so it's really been the development of their 2 young setters that have led to such a big improvement on the offensive end over the course of the year.
It was such a tough region to get through. The Central region, 3 opponents ranked in the top 11 in the country. Central Oklahoma, Washburn, St. Cloud State. Heck, the regional final went 5 sets. So Concordia St. Paul had to win a 5-setter to get here to Sioux Falls.
Both of these teams come in really battle-tested from their region and conference.
The same venue, the Sanford Pentagon, where Concordia St. Paul won the national title in 2016. Overpass kill for Boyd.
That cross-court shot has created a lot of issues defensively tonight for CSP. Leads to Boyd winning this play at the net.
The downward spin on that serve from Karina Worley. Dig for Akamazo. Hagar hard off the block. Saved by Cassie Sealing. Nold rejected. Hagar and Boyd on the far pin.
It's a block party right now with Boyd and Hagar, and Cassie Sealing can't say enough about her defense. She's keeping so many balls up for the Golden Bears right now, absolutely balling out in her final game as a senior at the indoor level.
Ellie Sealing sends it too long, no touch. But Brady Starkey is going to use a challenge card here, and I think he's using this, Kelly, as a timeout because he doesn't have any timeouts left. If you go to a 5th, you get the additional challenge anyway, and he needs a timeout right now to regroup.
I'm totally okay with him pulling a challenge here. Settle his team down. You don't want any more attack errors to balloon. From that angle, it doesn't look like a touch. Well, possibly from that angle, maybe the ring finger. Gennerman, no, actually that's Skylar Michael, potentially the ring finger this ball grazes off of. It looks like the rotation of it changes slightly. This is very much a player-led team, though, for CSP. They are goofing around all the time.
You can tell they've been a little more serious tonight. And Brady Starkey talked about that during the intermission. We're a little tight, not loose like they normally are.
They're pressing a little bit.
Certainly been a change since the end of set 2. They won the third, playing from behind here in the fourth. It's a long challenge right now, which could benefit Concordia St. Paul.
Also works to freeze the server of MSU Denver. But typically, the longer the challenges go on, the less likely there's going to be a reversal, because it typically means there's not enough irrefutable evidence to overturn it.
There was a touch. Brady Starkey wins the challenge.
It's got to be Skylar Michaels' ring finger.
That's a huge, huge change.
All of a sudden, you go from a 6-point deficit to now 4.
Nold on the service line. Team high 53 aces this year. 4 this week. Puts a lot of heat on her serve. Hagar. Cross court and dug by Cassie Sealing. Ellie Sealing will attack. Bump set Akamazo. Hagar blocked away. Milena Straub.
Really nice job of Straub teaming up with Waterman, reading. They know that ball is going to the left pin, gives them plenty of time to get set and timed up.
And Nold keep it in play again. She does. Handled by Hagar, who gets it back from Worley. Hits the antenna. That's out of bounds. Point Concordia St. Paul. And now Jenny Glenn will use her final timeout to potentially freeze Nold as well.
McKenna Nold's really dialed in the serve here in the fourth. It's come in with a lot of pace. Block is up, it forces Hagar to have to adjust.
Only 9 combined attack errors in the first 2 sets for MSU Denver, and now 6 in the third and 6 in the fourth. Hitting percentage down to 257. Last reverse sweep in a championship match. Concordia St. Paul, of course, in 2012 against Tampa. Was part of that stretch of 7 straight national titles from 2007 through 2013. If Brady Starkey wanted to talk about that match in the huddle, he probably could over there.
But he probably won't, because he's a pretty humble guy.
Yes. In fact, we were talking to him earlier today about them being here at the Pentagon in 2016 when they won it all, and I said, any superstitions this week? Do you eat at the same place? Do you stay at the same hotel? And he looked at me and said, no. We're just going to do whatever we normally do. We're not trying to stay at the same place. We're not trying to eat at the same place. I don't even know where we ate and where we stayed in 2016, probably. So no superstitions on that bench. Nold keeps it in play again to Hagar. Timing wasn't great on the slide, but it's good enough for Alyssa Boyd.
Yeah, Alyssa Boyd, that was impressive, because it was totally off on the timing, and that set was way behind her head. She actually had to lean back to hit that.
She was stumbling towards it, and she picks up her 8th kill, hitting .333 here in the national championship match. Slide play to Straub, cross court and down, right around Worley.
Really nice decision by Audrey Waterman, creating a one-on-one matchup for Milena Straub, who can absolutely sky off of 1 foot, coming in with a lot of pace.
Ellie Sealing, one of the better servers in program history, sends it to Hagar. Getterman, the freshman, terminates.
Much better first contact, able to do some tempo to the pin, and Getterman beating the block, going down the seam.
Boyd, the All-American. She'll drive it across. Deep serve to Cassie Sealing. Snoozy off the top of the block. Worley. Back set for Michael, who had to reach back to grab it. Back row for Nold. Shoots it away from Hagar.
Love that back row attack from McKenna Nold. And she's only going to continue to grow in that shot, but generates so much power, untouched by the block. This is just a great decision.
Akamazo, Worley, Getterman wiggles it through.
Brooke Getterman putting this MSU Denver offense on her back as a freshman. Phenomenal outing today for her. She's been incredibly efficient, been that stabilizing force on the left pin.
16 kills for Getterman, 16 kills for Hagar. The two outsides for MSU Denver. Slide play to Cooper. Cooper gets the touch as she swipes it off the block.
If I'm CSP and I have all three attack options available, I'm continually running that slide play because now it's in a much better rhythm.
Waterman with the serve. Serve reception for Hagar. Outside to Getterman. Bump set to Nold. Nold buries it back left corner.
When the Golden Bears are out of system, you go to your best terminal hitter in this situation. It's always McKenna Nold. She continues to bail out CSP on out of system balls.
Both head coaches out of timeouts. Set 4 here in the national championship. Brewer in the middle for Worley. That's the first time we've seen her terminate from the middle.
Totally different look. You're sending one of your shortest attackers in Karina Worley, the freshman at 5'10", down the middle, completely fakes out the CSP block.
23-21 MSU Denver. They lead the match 2-1. Dillon with a great serve to Cassie Sealing. Snoozy out of system. Off speed to Worley. Outside for Hagar. Match point for the Roadrunners.
The left pins of MSU Denver have been so good in this match. Incredibly efficient, making really good decisions.
The freshman Emerson Dillon will serve on match points. Sends it to Ellie Sealing. On the outside for Nold, who is stuffed away, but they play on. Back set to Worley, off the block. Outside for Nold. Scrambling play Dillon. Overhead pump set to Hagar. She buries it. The magical run culminates with hardware. MSU Denver wins their first national championship.
Stepping up in the biggest of ways here at Sioux Falls in a really tough situation when your star outside hitter goes down to the quarterfinals with an injury. 18 kills, incredible efficiency, and MSU Denver, the darlings of the Division II postseason.
So fitting that it's Hagar with the final kill. Her 18th kill of the match. At 3:08 with 18 digs as well. She started this week not knowing how much she would play this week, and she may be the MVP of the tournament.
Coach Jenny Glenn told her earlier this season when she lost her starting job to Brooke Getterman, there's going to be a point of this season where we need you, so be ready. And man, was she ready.
Sent into duty after Annika Helf was injured. late in set one Thursday in the quarterfinals. This play was almost dead on the final point. MSU Denver was about to celebrate, but the officials had them play on, and the Roadrunners did a really good job of regrouping right there.
And that's why you play through the whistle if you're CSP. Nice long rally. MSU Denver, though, great up, great defense. And Hagar just putting the exclamation point on what has been an unbelievable run for the Roadrunners.
Underrated dig, as you saw during that rally from Dylan behind the back line, a scrambling dig. She's only a freshman. Have to play live, digging Nold, and Hagar with the final kill. And the final point of the championship for MSU Denver.
That's the exciting thing for both of these teams, really. MSU Denver, a young squad. They've been playing 3 freshmen on the floor. CSP also a very youthful group.
The first national title in program history for MSU Denver, and the first national title appearance for MSU Denver in athletics in any sport since men's basketball finished as the national runner-up in 2012, 2013. This means a lot to that university.
This has been building for a while for the Roadrunners, but the belief factor was big for the Roadrunners, especially late in the season, and it carried them all through Sioux Falls.
They finished the season on a 23-match win streak. Didn't lose from October 4th throughout the rest of the year. Their last loss was October 3rd. And they run through Wingate, Tampa, Concordia St. Paul. That was a gauntlet in the 3 matches here this week.
The 2025 NCAA Division II.
Jenny Glenn is the national champion head coach for MSU Denver. Coach, how does that sound?
I don't think it's kind of sunk in yet, so it sounds great.
Coach, you talked about before this match with us, this group playing with freedom and no pressure. And how did you see your girls do that, especially in the 4th set to close it out?
Yeah, so proud of just resiliency to when the crowd gets loud and they come at us just to stay in and our true identities and play in freedom and finish it.
Coach, it's hard to play loose in a national championship match, but from point 1 until the final point, did you feel like your group was really loose tonight?
I think we played great. Yeah, we played really present in the moment. Yeah, I'm just so proud. We haven't been in this situation before, and we handled it like veterans.
Coach, your go-to star player, Annika Helf, goes down in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
How special is it to be able to win this championship for her, with her not being able to be on the court?
Yeah, Annika's our lone senior, and it's her dream since she's come to America to play in a national championship. So even having a moment with her before and just understanding that she's so much bigger than being a volleyball player, you know, and just to be here for her team today and the way she was, and for her team to show up for her is something special.
Coach, let's finish with what this means to your university, MSU Denver, which is a proud university. What does this mean to the entire university, not just the volleyball program and athletics?
Yeah, it's huge. I think it puts us on the map in a lot of ways. So, yeah, it's just great to see the support we have out here and the way that people are coming behind us. And yeah, MSU Denver is a great place, and we love our volleyball. So it's great to have a national championship to go along with all that.
Coach, appreciate the time. Congrats on the national championship.
Thank you.
Jenny Glenn in her 10th year. They finally get through the regionals. They get to the championship, and they win in the championship. And once again, they beat Tampa and Concordia St. Paul within 24 hours on back-to-back days.
Now all the credit goes to the Roadrunners. Really almost a Cinderella story, starting in the quarterfinals, the ability to overcome extreme adversity and injury to your best player, the first-team All-American, Annika Helf. Megan Hagar stepping up in a massive way on the left pin. A youthful squad that was able to overcome that youth and bringing home your school's in volleyball first national title.
It's emotional for family, for fans, for players, for coaches, for so many people. The 4 seed wins the national title back-to-back years. 4 seed Lynn won it last year here at the Pentagon. This year, 4 seed MSU Denver. They were hot coming in, and they win their final 23 matches here this year.
Number 2, Aubrey Waterman. Number 3, McKenna Nold. Number 4, Melinda Stroud. Number 5, Josie Tingelbaum. Number 6, Ellie Seeley.
25-21, the final score in set number 4. Set 1 was 25-22. Set 2 was 25-20. Concordia St. Paul won the third by a final of 25-20 to kind of hang around and send us to a fourth. We are joined by Alyssa Boyd post-match. Alyssa, you're a sophomore. You get to experience this here this week. What does this mean to you, your teammates, and the entire program?
All glory to God. Like, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for him, if it weren't for his patience with us. And, you know, we got here with our belief, and that's been our whole thing this whole season. We believed that we were going to do it, and so we did. And it's just so exciting to see the fruits of it, and it's so exciting to just be in this position and be able to give it all back to the Lord, because that's what we're here for. We're here to play in freedom, and I think that's definitely what we did tonight.
Alyssa, Coach talked about the belief factor in this group. How did you see that belief come out even more here in that quarterfinal match all the way through this run in the championship?
Yeah, so we never let any sort of circumstances or anything waver our belief. You know, we have a line of belief, and that doesn't change. And we just have full belief in our abilities and belief in our identities, because our identities don't rely on performance, and so it allows us to play free. And so whenever you're playing free, you're able to not worry about circumstances, and that's what really got us through any sets that we had dropped or anything like that.
Alyssa, appreciate the time. Congrats on the national championship.
Thank you so much.
Alyssa Boyd, kind enough to stop by post-match. MSU Denver wins the Division II National Championship for the first time in program history. For our producer, Kyle Binder, our entire crew, my partner, Kelly Burke, Adam Young saying so long one final time from the Pentagon in Sioux Falls.